the key to marriage is you can both be crazy, but not at the same time. My husband and I, his name is John. I truly never thought I'd marry a John, especially not one with no H. But life is surprising. My husband and I have been together for 25 years, since college. And when you're with someone for that long, I mean, you're definitely gonna have moments when you're very sad or very depressed or like a little doughy. But you know, you kind of roll with it. And everything straightens out eventually. And that worked for us for a long time. You know, he gained 8 pounds when he quit smoking, and I helped with that. I got crazy postpartum depression after both of my kids. I kept picturing them in car accidents, you know, their faces covered in blood, limbs severed. He helped with that. I was like a seesaw. You know, you're a disaster, I pretend I'm fine. But then, March of 2020 came, and we were not fine. And we were both not fine. And we were having to pretend for 2 children in a 1,000-square-foot apartment that we were not supposed to leave. We were not connecting. We were surviving. You know, we got through our days, and after the kids were in bed, then our hands became like bottles of wine, and we didn't want to talk. Maybe because the things in our head were so dark. Or maybe because we knew we couldn't say anything to make each other feel better. The most we could do was our reality television opium, not actual opium, although we did do that in college. Right before my senior directing showcase, it was fun. And then I'd go to bed and I'd alternate between Googling "Can children die of COVID" and ordering tie-dye leisure wear. And we weren't having sex, because you can have sex when you're crazy. That's a great time to have sex, but I was just so sad and dehydrated and exhausted. And what John was doing, which was either way worse or much better than what I was doing, is he was painting. Specifically, he was painting, how do I put this? He was painting animals fucking. You know, like this one behind me, it's a horse mounting a bull. And there was a bunny that looked like it was hugging another bunny, but that was not a hug, and there was no consent. There was a pig going down on another pig. I mean, I don't even know if pigs eat each other out. I can't look it up because search histories are forever. And I guess they were subtle. I mean, our children saw them. And I did not ask him why he was painting animals fucking, because did I really want the answer? It was the elephant in the room. And I guess the masturbating elephant, if John had his way. I started retreating into myself, and I was a crappy mother for like 3 weeks straight. And then I started to feel really guilty, so I decided that I was going to be like those moms that I read about on the internet. I was going to be fun. The irony is, I used to be fun before I had children. Remember the opium? I was fun. So I found this dress in my closet. I wore it for play my freshman year of college. It was this experimental thing where we did like Glengarry Glen Ross, but we were all women and we were wearing ball gowns. The director had a point, but I don't know what it was. And I kept the dress for Halloween costumes or something, but I had never worn it. And so I put it on and I sat down to family dinner that night and I was like, I'm not Mom, I am Claudette. And I spoke in this French accent. And anytime they would be like, can we have screen time? I would be like, what is this screen time you speak of? And at first it was dumb, but I committed. And pretty soon they were speaking in an accent and we were like, what is this burrito bowl? What is this chipotle? What is this coronavirus? And we were laughing and John looked at me and we locked eyes and I was like, oh, this is a moment of joy. This is a moment of joy that we would never have had if we weren't in this tiny apartment in this crazy year. And he looked happy, and I was like, okay, I was a good parent for one evening. And maybe they'll remember this and forget everything else. But that wasn't what John was feeling. I found out later. He was feeling horny. It was the dress. Now, I know a lot about John, including the fact that he grew up in Tuxedo, New York. But what I didn't know was that there's a very famous Renaissance fair there that he went to as a kid, and he basically associates that with his sexual awakening. So he was horny, and I was happy, and we had sex for the first time in a pandemic. The last time before that was right after Tom Hanks had announced that he had COVID. We did a rewatch of Apollo 13, and space always makes me horny. But we didn't have any condoms because I had really dry skin, and I had used the last one to fill with Vaseline and put over my thumb. Life hack. And then about 4 weeks later, I started eating Funyuns again. And John's eyes got big. The Funyuns of fertility. And I was like, no. So I postmated a pregnancy test, and my daughter was like, ooh, what did we order? And I was like, nothing. This is not donuts. I mean, we are in our 40s. This is not our plan. My husband will be a senior citizen when this kid graduates high school. We are not those people. And how are we going to tell this kid the story about he or she or they were born? I mean, we can't do this, right? And yet, I always wanted a third kid. But it felt completely impractical and selfish and bonkers. I have 2 healthy children. I was afraid of everything horrible that could go wrong, but the last year and a half, everything sort of did go wrong. And those of us that are still here, I mean, those of us that were lucky, I mean, we can't pretend that we haven't changed. There is no plan, I guess. There's just a bunch of crazy people bouncing off of each other, loving each other, doing our best. I mean, doing my best, guys. If you look at it in a certain way, it's actually really beautiful, right?